Free Japan Channel, number 61. Today, February 19th, Wednesday morning, time is 9 a.m. So the spring sky is spreading, extending to the farthest horizon. Mount Fuji can be seen this morning so clearly. Here is Yokohama. FGC is broadcast from Yokohama. Good morning. How are you? FGC's today's topic is North Korea. Why so condescending? This is a theme. North Korea is divided from South Korea by the dividing line, so boundary. It is 38 degrees latitude, northern latitude. From 1950 to 1953, Korean War continued for 3 years, and the result of this war was this dividing line. Since then, North Korea lasted as a sovereign country, though Japan and the United States don't have any diplomacy or diplomatic relationship with North Korea. North Korea is very condescending to South Korea, for example, or to Japan, or even to the United States. North Korea's national newspaper or national broadcasting always say something to despise South Korea, sometimes Japan, and the United States. And as leaders of South Korea are very obedient, in fact. They listen to almost everything what Kim Jong-un says. This is very weird, isn't it? The GDP of South Korea is how many times? 20 times or 30 times of North Korea. So from the economic point of view, North Korea cannot be equal to South Korea. And in South Korea, whose capital is Seoul, there are so many huge, gigantic buildings, and road, metros were also well established. We can say that Seoul or other Korean cities are modern cities. On the other hand, in North Korea, the capital, Pyongyang, can be a modern city, but it's only a surface, so superficial atmosphere. When we go to countryside of North Korea, then it is pre-modern world or even feudal world. People are always hungry, and agricultural products cannot be reliable. Therefore, we can hear so much news from North Korea that so many people starved and died as a result of bad yield, agricultural yield, of course. And the technological inventions are very obsolete. Factory, road, electricity, water, these infrastructure are so obsolete in North Korea that the production system always stops. However, there is one thing that North Korea can be proud of to the world in terms of technology, namely nuclear development. North Korea succeeded in making nuclear bomb in 2006, therefore 19 years old. This year is 2025. And then North Korea is now striving to develop the serious or a high quality missile system, or ballistic missile, which can reach the United States. Then, even if the United States drops 1,000 nuclear bombs to North Korea, only one nuclear bomb can reach the United States, San Francisco, or Los Angeles, or New York. Then the United States can't use its nuclear power as a diplomatic card because, as I said, 1,000 nuclear bombs from the United States drop on the North Korea. However, the North Korea's one single nuclear bomb, which is launched from the submarine, for example, or from the unknown nuclear launching site, then this one missile reaches a city in the United States, then millions of victims occur in the United States. Then the leaders of the United States can't launch or can't use its nuclear armament. This is the diplomacy of North Korea. I think it is a very wise strategy. Nuclear armament cannot be established in a decade or in 2 decades, maybe 3 decades, 30 years or at least 30 years is at least required for the nuclear armament, and the North Korea succeeded in it. Look, this is the secret of the North Korea. This is the secret of the strengths. South Korea doesn't have any nuclear bomb, nor does Japan. Then North Korea can disdain South Korea and Japan. They say that South Korea and Japan are only slave country of the United States. They means South Korea and Japan can't do anything, can't say anything to the United States because they are so-called slaves of the United States. They don't have any nuclear bombs. So North Korea doesn't have any reason to fear South Korea or Japan. And one more strategy of the North Korea is that they have sent so many espionage or so many factions, so-called factions, to South Korea and Japan. And these people who live in South Korea for 20 years maybe, or in Japan for 30 years, cannot be distinguished from ordinary Koreans and ordinary Japan. So they blend into each society. However, at heart, these people who dispatched from the North Korea have always been waiting for the order from North Korea. And once some order comes from the leader, of North Korea. These sleepers, so-called sleepers, who are not different from ordinary Koreans or ordinary Japanese, suddenly stand up and do the order. Ideologically, these sleepers or espionages are so successful not only in South Korea but also in Japan. For example, teachers, journalists, or literary people are influenced by this North Korea strategy. So surprisingly enough, intellectual people in South Korea and also in Japan do and say something which are so socialist, which are so left-wing, which are so protective to North Korea. Japan has the abduction problem when it comes to North Korea. North Korea had abducted so many Japanese people. So at least more than 100 people were abducted by the agents of North Korea in 1970s and 80s. So this abduction program is the most formidable obstacle for the peace treaty between Japan and North Korea. However, here in Japan, there are so many teachers or even university professors who think that North Korean system is so good and the leadership of North Korea is so trustworthy, and Japan should talk and listen to the words of this North Korean leadership. It is so ridiculous. It is so stupid. However, some of the teachers and professors, not only educational people, but also engineers and politicians, they are influenced by North Korea. And this degree of being influenced by North Korea is much, much pervasive in South Korea, of course. In South Korea, this operation or this strategy of North Korea was so successful that, as we know and as we see from news, the leaders of South Korea are sometimes so docile to North Korea. This is a reason. This is because North Korea have been operating the strategy in South Korea and to a lesser degree here in Japan. So nuclear bomb and ideological war in South Korea and Japan. In these two areas, North Korea has been so successful that Japan and South Korea cannot say anything actually to North Korea. This is a very horrible or awful situation, but this is reality. We should always bear in mind that North Korea is a sovereign country and, in a sense, strong country to employ its nuclear bomb power and ideological strategy. Thank you.